Hello, my name is Scott. I am the owner of Kombucha America, which is located in Point Roberts, Washington. I have been drinking kombucha tea for 19 years. I was born in 1944, although I thankfully do not look that old. Recently, I attended my 50th high school reunion. I am somewhat sorry to say that I was the youngest looking 68-year-old there. It was sad to see how others had grown old, much older, but I had not. At a recent physical, the doctor was amazed at both my physical appearance and my superior state of health. I think he might have been a little disappointed that he could not find anything at all wrong with me. As I earlier mentioned, I've been drinking kombucha for 19 years. I believe it to be an incredible beverage, and many others who drink it agree with me. It not only tastes great, but it also helps to keep you healthy. And for me, it apparently has slowed my aging. The tea, although now being sold commercially at high prices, has traditionally, for over 2,000 years, been home brewed, which is a very easy thing to do. And if you home brew the tea, that makes it free. Kombucha tea is both refreshing and invigorating. It tastes much like an apple wine cider. Many people will tell you of the increased energy they have after drinking the tea, even if they have been drinking it only for a short while. Kombucha is sometimes called a mushroom, but it is not a mushroom. It is only mistakenly called a mushroom. It is more like a simple lichen. It is sometimes called a SCOBY, which is an abbreviation for a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeasts. When the SCOBY, or so-called mushroom, is put into some sugary tea, the bacteria and yeast that reside in the spongy structure of the kombucha are introduced into the tea. They quickly start to colonize the tea and cause it to ferment. Kombucha is a fermented tea and contains about 1% alcohol by content. As the tea ferments, a new mushroom slowly begins to form on the surface of the tea. This acts as a protective evaporation barrier over the surface of the tea. The new mushroom is then later used to make a new batch of tea. Mushrooms can be used over and over again, but most people just prefer to use the last mushroom they grew. Mushrooms can also be cut into separate pieces, and each piece will do the same as a whole mushroom. No kombucha mushroom strain, if there are different strains, has ever been proven to be better than another. Anyone who tells you different is probably just trying to sell you theirs, and is just BSing you. It would take many millions of dollars and years of research to prove that one strain, if it existed, might be better than another, and no one selling kombucha mushrooms has ever invested that kind of money in kombucha. It is the probiotic kombucha bacteria and yeast in the mushroom that is introduced into the tea that ferments the tea in about 7 to 9 days, depending on the temperature. It is not the cellulose structure of the mushroom that ferments the tea. As the tea is fermenting, a byproduct of the fermentation is the creation of various metabolic acids and other constituents that help to improve health and detox the body. Any size kombucha mushroom will ferment any size batch of tea. Most people brew a gallon of tea at a time for their own personal use, and they drink about 1 to 3 cups of this remarkable beverage during the course of the day. As mentioned, larger batches of tea can be fermented. All that is needed is a larger brewing container. Marketeers on the internet often will attempt to sell you larger mushrooms, for which they will charge you more. They are simply trying to make as much money off of you as they can, and they are certainly not going to tell you that any size mushroom will ferment a new batch of tea exactly in the same way as a smaller mushroom. Any size mushroom contains millions of kombucha bacteria and yeast, and only a small number of them is needed to start the fermentation of a new batch of tea. Bigger is not better, it is just more expensive to buy. Various types of teas, both flavored and herbal teas, can be used as a base tea to make kombucha. Teas can also be blended together to produce many different tastes. Some people will also add fresh fruits and spices to their tea, but actually the tea tastes great without having to enhance it. Various herbal teas also have their own medicinal benefits, and these can be incorporated into any batch of kombucha that you should wish to brew. Some people question the safety of kombucha, probably because it is mistakenly called a mushroom. In the back of most people's heads is the thought that some mushrooms are poisonous, and that a tea made from something called a mushroom can hardly taste that great. But kombucha is not a mushroom. It is only called a mushroom, and again, the tea does not taste like mushrooms. It tastes more like an apple wine cider. It is quite delicious. Millions drink this venerated beverage daily and have done so for over 2,000 years, and they have not dropped like flies. The FDA has never issued any health warnings about kombucha and has approved the commercial sales of bottled kombucha tea. Kombucha tea, while not a drug, is safer than aspirin. It is an all-natural beverage that is well known for improving health and keeping you healthy. There are more than a few old wives' tales about kombucha on the internet, such as drinking the tea can cause a mushroom to grow in your stomach and kill you, or if flushed, one will grow in your septic tank, ruining it. This is simply not possible, although a large mushroom, if flushed, might clog up your pipes. Also, kombucha cannot grow anthrax. This false information appeared on the internet after an Iranian cattle farmer supposedly died from anthrax. He was drinking kombucha, but the source of anthrax was his cattle, not kombucha tea. Some women tell me that they were told to take off their wedding rings before making the tea because contact with metal can poison the tea. This is a wild exaggeration, stemming from the fact that you should not ferment the tea in metal containers, because fermenting beverages in some types of metal containers can cause leaching of metal molecules into the beverage being fermented. But leaching takes time and is not an instantaneous event, so a brief casual contact with any metal will certainly not hurt kombucha. Just don't ferment the tea in an iron, lead, or plastic container, but in glass containers, such as wine bottles or old gallon glass pickle jars. Because of the increased popularity of kombucha, more than a few companies and individuals attempt to capitalize on the tea's excellent reputation for improving health by marketing such bogus convenience products such as kombucha capsules, extracts, and kombucha tea sold in tea bags. Save your money. The only way to gain the health benefits of kombucha is by drinking the living probiotic tea, not consuming these worthless products, marketed for the sole purposes of making money. There are many on the internet who will also attempt to sell you so-called kits to make kombucha tea and expensive continuous brewing systems. Again, save your money. It is very easy to make kombucha tea, and most everything you need you probably already have in your home or you can attain locally at far less expense. Many have a hard time believing that a simple tea can improve health as dramatically as kombucha does. They overlook the fact that this tea has been used for over 2,000 years as a health elixir. Given that it takes a little bit of a weekly effort to make the tea, if it did not have health benefits, it should have disappeared long ago. Instead, it has been passed down through the generations. Millions now drink it daily, and you will find many testimonials about its health benefits on the internet. Some will argue that since there are no medical studies proving that tea improves health or slows the aging, therefore claims about it should be ignored. Such studies, however, cost many millions upon millions of dollars to conduct, and the pharmaceutical companies are not going to conduct such a study on a product that you can easily make in your own home. There is no profit incentive for them to conduct such a study. The point I'm trying to make is that you cannot make a judgment on kombucha because no major studies have yet been conducted on it to prove one way or another if the tea can improve health. You have only 2,000 years of anecdotal information to counter the negative opinions of a few medical professionals who prefer that you stick to the expensive drugs marketed by the pharmaceutical companies for profit. Will kombucha improve health? The only way to know for sure is to give it a try. It did for me, and it has for many others. If I have piqued your interest about kombucha tea, please visit my website for more information about kombucha. Since 1995, I have provided over 30,000 happier and healthier customers with cultures so that they can homebrew their own kombucha tea for free. I retain a 5-star customer satisfaction rating with Google for both product and customer service. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Please make it a good day.